And welcome back here to the casting booth. Demon, that was a very dominant game for M5 there.
It's a little scary, actually.
It is
how strong they were.
They were strong at Kiev, but if anything, they've become stronger. And I know that AAA, for instance, have taken lots and lots of BO3s of them recently, but they're surprisingly strong offline, considering this is their second offline event.
Yeah, and I actually think the losses they've had has actually strengthened them quite a bit. You know, if you just win everything, you'll never get stronger.
You never learn anything.
If you take a loss, you actually sit back and go, okay, why did we learn? Why did we lose that?
Yeah.
You know, they've had their moments. Everybody's seen the apology video, I'm sure. But, you know, I think they've learned a lot from that. And they've really put themselves out there and been absolutely unstoppable this event. So now we have SK versus TSM. There they are backstage.
Yeah, that's
and they're having the discussions about, you know, what are we going to do here? Like you mentioned on the interview, these guys have played each other a lot. They know what each other plays. They've been to the events with each other so many times as well. They're all good friends. And it's just a case of how are we going to beat our friends?
And the other question is, yes, what did this do to SK's nerves? Because SK going into this were riding a high. I was talking to them backstage. They were like, yeah, we're doing this, yeah. And now I think this match was... A damper is probably not an overstatement.
But it's like TSM were this morning as well.
Yeah, that's true.
After TSM lost to Curse, they were just like, what?
Well, yeah, how did that even happen with a sub?
Yeah.
But that sub actually doing a pretty good job.
He's doing very well.
I was talking to Elements. He was like, dude, we're so happy with this guy. Sitko is here now actually, but he's only going to be playing tomorrow, assuming Curse make it through.
Even if you've not seen the picture of the odd one online, I know you guys on Reddit land have been spotting it. It is fantastic.
What's that
You're
picture?
doing an interview and he's like looking up the screen, yawning. He's like, it's a full terror face with you sat there.
Nice.
It's brilliant.
Nice.
They come around from every event. Obviously, we had Chaos with his darkness moment last time, but these guys, you know, it'll be interesting to see what they say in the interview because it's so tense between them.
Yeah.
You got to assume that Curse are going to go beat Ehong now because Curse have looked very good throughout it.
Yeah.
They almost beat Moscow 5. In fact, they were the closest team to beating Moscow 5.
So far,
and if anything, they threw the game. So, which is going to hurt. But they've done so well, you know, with a great win over TSM, a great win over Cypher early on. They lost to SK. They lost to... who did they lose to? Who was the other one? Moscow 5, obviously.
Yes, of course.
So they're at a 2-2 situation. So TSM have to win this game. So I guess we're going to see what they're going to say. So we're going to go over to the players and over to Alinea on the stage.
And it is time for our last match of the day at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship Day 2 Group B. So let's welcome back on stage TSM and SK.
What's up, guys? Here we are, main stage team, SoloMid and SK. We have Reginald and Ocelot here, both about to go head-to-head in one of the final games, or the final game of the day here at the IEM World Championship, second day. Amazing game so far. SK, we're going to start with you. We just saw a recent matchup. How are you guys feeling coming off of that?
We feel confident. We feel we want to play this match so much. We like them so much, but on the other hand, we got the ribbons to make. So yeah, let's do it.
And I got the same question. How are you guys feeling right now? Do you want to take this W?
We have to win this or we're out. So me and Ocelot are good friends, but he's going down.
All right. Do you guys have anything you've saved up till this point for this match?
What do you mean?
Do you have anything that you guys have saved? Any tricks, an ace up your sleeve that you're saving for this?
We will see.
All right, same to you guys. Are you guys going to try to fast switch at the end to top jungler? What are you thinking of anything? Maybe. You don't have to tell us, obviously.
I don't even know. You guys will see. You guys will see.
All right. We're going to leave it at that. These guys going head-to-head in just a few minutes. Get a good handshake in here. Good luck to both teams. We're going to throw it back to D-Man and Xenon in the casting booth.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, not going to get anything out of the players, playing very tight-lipped, but they've scrimmed against each other a lot, so they kind of know what they're going to pull out, really.
That, though, on the other hand, that means if you're going to throw out a surprise pick here, it's going to be even more of a surprise because the other team thinks they have you figured out. They may not have you figured out. I don't know. I am super excited for this. I want to see what they can do for us. Cassiopeia is going to be such a contested pick here. I'm absolutely sure the team who doesn't have first pick is just going to ban it out. Because these are the two best Cassiopeia players I feel we have in the league right now, going head-to-head there. And that's one thing that Ocelot told us at Kiev as well. There's a special sort of dynamic between Ocelot and Reggie. They're both AP mid players who love to innovate, who love to find that underplayed champion and say, like, you know what, I'm going to make Cassiopeia work. You know what, I'm going to make LeBlanc work. And usually it's one of them picking up the champion, showing that the champion's viable, and then the other one will try to outdo the first one and say, you know what, I'm an even better LeBlanc than you.
And you know what, I hate to say it, but Reginald has not performed that well in this event so far. You know, he had the moment with Ari, didn't work out too well. With Gragas in the first game as well, that didn't work out too well. So there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders here at Team SoloMid. You know, he needs to turn up and perform against Ocelot, who we know is, like you say, a fantastic player. But you've also got the bottom lanes. You've got the Chaos versus Candy Panda duo of the AD. And actually, you know, you've got to mention Nif and X Special because they've both been playing brilliantly as well. So that he can see, look, you see that little black line? It's not just a random black line with an admin sat there. They're sat right next to each other, the wall between them, keeping them separated. I know Kevin might lunge across at Chaos midway through, shake darkness at him or something, I don't know, but don't try not to interrupt him.
Yeah, these players now getting ready, having a little bit of a drink just before the game here. So much pressure right now on this team, on SoloMid. I called them the favorites in the beginning of the day, and I was honestly, certain they're going to go out of this like 4-1 or something, at maybe even 5-0, and that they have actually come to this place where it's win this game or definitely be out of it. I never would have expected. Yeah, that looked like nervousness to me.
I'm not sure if it was nervousness or cold or just yawning.
Maybe a little bit
of a mixture of both. But SK certainly seemed the more relaxed in this one. You know, there's a lot of pressure on them. And Chaos there with his glasses on, getting serious, and you can see he's getting on the screen. There's giving out a bit of a team talk as well there, but looks a bit Chaos, and discussing what are they going to pick. Yeah. And actually, you know, talking earlier with CLG, the EU team, they're like, you know, any special picks? So nobody has special picks.
Yeah.
It's just a case of, you know what, picks and bands worked out all right, I think we go with this one.
Yes, exactly. Oh, there is an opportunity to go crazy LeBlanc mode. Let's do it. But you don't go into this saying, I have this great 5 champion setup that I definitely want to run. And we are in the picks and bans. TSM have first pick and first ban. So let's see if they're just going to leave Cassiopeia in there and force that ban onto SK, or if it's actually not that big a deal. I'm not sure if Cassiopeia can really be shut down in mid lane. Maybe Kassadin can do it. I'm not even sure that actually works, because the silence works more on bursty champs, and we have the Shyvana as a first ban right there.
And Maokai being taken away from the odd one as well. He's been using it throughout this, and you know, that's a very good pick, mainly for obviously Ocelot likes his thing, and Maokai sort of shuts down the mages a little bit there. So he needs to be careful in the middle. At least Sin being taken away as well, so that the jungler's really being targeted, and Sona being targeted. X Special has played Sona quite a few times this tournament, actually.
What was the combo?
That's what he's gone with.
Sona and there was a specific combo. Maybe there's a combo.
Sivir?
I'm not sure. I
don't know.
Yeah, but there must be more to it, because Janna is the most contested support pick this tournament, right? So
absolutely,
why ban a different support when you don't even have first pick?
Yeah, which is an interesting one. And Janna had been picked up a few times. Oh, Cassiopeia now being left open, teasing them and saying, SK, you're either going to ban it or you're going to let us pick it. But could SK be going, we're going to fool you. Yeah. You fooled us in Kiev into picking LeBlanc first out. We're going to let you pick up that AP first so we can counter it.
Maybe they have a counter foot up their sleeves.
There it is.
Perfectly baited out. Let's see what the answer is going to be from SK. I don't think that they're going to counter pick immediately, because they have all the time in the world and they can pick the other lanes first. But Reggie, took the bait. Let's see if it was a bait or if it was like a calculated risk.
And they know they could pick up Janna. That's why they took Sana out. So they knew they were going to leave it open. So some clever little play here. So Janna, Cogmore bottom lane. So immediately locking that one in. So how are they going to counter this one? I mean, Cogmore has been very strong throughout this tournament.
Yeah, especially with the curse build of the lifesteal Quins, and the Nunu support is no longer. I mean, the Nunu support is still there, but Cogmore was taken away. Oh, Shen was open. We completely missed that. Shen and Graves.
And I wonder if SK missed that as well. Shen, he's lost the game. He has lost the game, but
it was a very one-sided one, wasn't it?
It was a very one-sided game, but other than that, he's been incredibly strong. So it's going to be Shen in the jungle, Aurelium top lane. So I spoke to the Rainman actually backstage, and I was talking about the Shyvana thing. He was saying, actually, you know what? I was playing him wrong. And he admitted it. I was playing him wrong. I've changed how I play Aurelia now. I've changed my build and my runes, etc. Says, and now, you know, obviously, he was like, I won that lane. We lost the game, but I won that lane. Okay, all right.
So he learned something. That's very good. Let's see what they're going to run for Kevin in top lane. Vladimir didn't work so well there that last game. Didn't look so great, but obviously that was against M5, a very, very strong team. I'm not sure if anything really counters Shen. I mean, Yorick obviously does, because Yorick counters everything according to the pros. Kennen, kind of also a strong pick, but I'm not quite seeing that yet, if that's so necessary. Maybe they can just run something that will work, that will just survive in top lane, and that's useful for their team comp. Cutting it close here, and oh, it's the Udyr. Yeah, I can kind of see Udyr. He can shield the Qs from Shen. That might work there. And Nocturne in the jungle. Okay, so Chaos will have to be very, very scared.
So what AP do you think they're going to use here? That's the last one they've got available. That's the big question. Of course, Soraka going with Graves down the bottom there. Yeah, so it's a pretty standard comp. So they're actually going to try and pressure a lot more on towards Cogmore. We're using Graves, so they're going to try and pick him off a little bit more than they can. Try and push him out of lane a little bit. You know, because obviously at the end of the day, you can't let Cogmore farm. That's what we found earlier on.
Yes.
And I've got to say, Cop from Curse has played absolutely incredible this tournament.
Yeah.
He's been probably one of the best AD carriers of this tournament.
And the thing with AD carries is the quality of their play comes from positioning. I think you called us out a couple of times in one of the Curse games. Positioning spot on. He was never out of position, and yet he was always in range to do all of his damage when it counted. Just great play there. Let's see how good Candy Panda's Cogmore is. And they're leaving it up to the last second here for the Graves lock-in. It's obviously going to be a Graves. Don't think they're going to change at that very last second. Graves Soraka is a very strong lane because of that infuse, and Graves can just spam Qs as much as he wants. Now let's see. Ocelote, maybe the world's best Casio player. Does he know a counter?
Well, obviously he knows a counter. He knows what's bad against him. The question is, it's going to be something with range, maybe something that can take the poison, the hit that he's going to get. Obviously, he doesn't want to take too many Twin Fangs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe a Galio. I'm thinking a Galio might actually work.
It would work, it definitely, with the protection on Kevin there, which he's just had against him, obviously, in the form of Alex.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people that need to go rather close. Even Cassiopeia needs to go semi-close to do her damage. I mean, Twin Fang is very long range, yes, but you still want to land the Qs and your miasmas. So she's going to be semi-close, and there is the Galio pickup.
Yeah, very good call there.
I feel smart.
you get something
First time today.
Now and again, it does actually happen. So yeah, very good call. Very good bruiserish setup. You can, good protection there. Obviously, Nif can throw out those Howling Gales and the Monsoon to blow them away. It's all about the protection on Candy Panda in this fight. So no meat around it. So the question is, can it be enough to poke Reginald from range? And they can. Galio has got a good long range poke. He can avoid the damage from Cassiopeia. So I feel actually SK have picked up a very strong lineup here.
So the Gambit was leaving that Cassiopeia open. We both called it immediately. That's the very, very glaring thing, and that is definitely no mistake. That was the #1 thing on SK's mind. And they were like, you know what? You pick Cassiopeia, we have an answer. The answer is Galio. And the question for this game is now, how is this answer going to work? And the more I think about it, you're right, the more I like it. Graves, another medium range AD carry. He needs to get close to do his damage. Shen, of course, needs to stick on you. Really needs to stick on you. And I'm really, really liking this. And that's a lot of protection right there for Candy Panda on the Cogmore. The Udyr is going to protect so well. The Janna is going to protect so well. Even the fear from Nocturne, if need be, will keep people off of Cogmore. And, we've seen what a fat Cogmore can do. And I'm sure that a couple of players will have nightmares about what a fat Cogmore can do.
Yeah, indeed, and obviously Nocturne in there can blast him from range. I think Cassiopeia is going to be targeted quite heavily, which is, I reckon, why they let it happen. They're like, okay, we're going to let them have a weak AP, can do crazy damage if gets fed, but the idea is just sit back, which is exactly what Gallia is going to do. So how they're going to counter it, the question is, it is going to be TSM versus SK. TSM have to win this game. There's no means about it, because we think that Curse are going to go beat EHOM, which is going to put them 3-2. It means that TSM would be 3-2 if they win this game, and SK would be 3-2 if they win this game. However, if SK go and win this game, they're through. Second place, done and dusted. Then it's a case of, well, TSM might drop out, and Curse will go through.
It's a fight for survival right here for TSM. For SK, it's a fight to be safe that you go to the next round. They don't want that gamble. It feels like a gamble because you don't really understand the timings, of course. And you know what? There's not that many people left. Actually, there's a lot of people left, so let's hear it from the audience one last time for today. It's Team SoloMid versus SK Gaming.
So here we go, Team SoloMid versus SK Gaming. Let's give you a quick rundown of that roster before they engage. We haven't seen a big team fight at this tournament so far, but you know what? It's a very tense thing, and it's a very dangerous thing to do at the start. So for Team SoloMid, it is going to be Reginald in the middle on Cassiopeia. Down the bottom, it will be Chaos on Graves. I'm just catching a glimpse of them getting a little bit close. With him will be X-Special S2, apparently Season 2 he's going with there. On Soraka, and obviously this is the first time I think we've seen Soraka at this tournament, actually. I don't recall seeing him before. The odd one will be in the jungle on Shen. Not too sure how much he's been playing that. I haven't watched his streams too much. The Rayman up the top on Aurelia has played very well. Boots and pots across the board for TSM there, apart from obviously Soraka with those wards. And for SK Gaming, it will be Nif down the bottom as support on Janna with Cogmore, of course. That will be Candy Panda with that flash heal, kind of standard plays. Kevin at the top, his first deaths of the game against Moscow 5. The first deaths of the tournament, I should say. Really? Went amazing stats, really, for playing 3 games already at a high-spec World Championships tournament level. So Kevin really is bringing it to this tournament. He's going to be playing Udyr. Meanwhile, in the jungle, it's going to be Dedre in his first tournament ever as well. It has been playing fantastically well. He's going to be on Nocturne. And in the middle, it will be Ocelot poking from long range as Galio. And you can see Candy Panda and Nif already on that invade, taking off after, well, exactly what Moscow 5 did to them.
Reginald and Rayman doing the exact same thing, stealing the blue raid from SK's side, so it's all even here right now, unless they decide to go for more. Nope, they are going back home, so very, very safe there. And I was wondering if Reggie is going to get a level 1 blue buff, but I don't think that's going to work, even with a Shen in the jungle, so he's not going to get that. And Ocelot versus Cassiopeia right now in mid lane. We're going to have to see how much that knowledge helps him. In bot lane, we see setting up right now Candy Panda on Cogmore and Nif on that Janna, the most contested support pick of the tournament so far. Chaos and X-Special, you can see immediately they're not even trying to harass the enemy. That's not what this lane is about. It's just about it's just going to be about out-sustaining them, and with Soraka you can absolutely do that. And in top lane, I don't actually know how the Udyr versus Irelia combo works out. I have absolutely no idea, so we're going to have to watch and see.
Yeah, so the odd one clearing out that Wraith camp. He kind of knew it was going to be taken. That's why he'd done the exact same thing. Ocelot was trying to get around the backside of Reginald there. You can see a bit of a twin fang action coming from Reginald there, trying to poke down Ocelot, but as you can see, he's not going to do a great deal of damage. He just shields it up. His passive is very strong, which is a very good pick, very good counter between these two. And I'm wondering whether this is something that they've thought about back from Kiev, or maybe something they've thought about if we can. Well, boy, they knew they were going to come against each other, so they've maybe pre-planned the tactic for this game.
And let me just say a little bit about mechanic. I don't want to bore you too much with mechanics, but the shield from Galio heals him every time that the shielded person, or himself in this case, takes damage. That means every poison tick is going to proc that heal. So that makes him such a strong counter to Cassiopeia. As long as he can have that shield up while he's under poison, he's not actually going to take much damage from it. And there we see it happening right now. Pretty nice for Ocelot. In bot lane, meanwhile, actually, yes, you just switched to mid lane. Okay. Yeah, in bot lane, nothing much is happening. The 20 to 21, actually, very, very even CS. Demon, I could see this be one of those really drawn-out long, I'll just farm all day long games.
You mean like we had yesterday? We're good at getting those.
Yes.
Let's see if we can beat 18.5 minutes for the first kill, though. It will be a very tense thing. Actually, I think with Nocturne involved, I think it might be a bit quicker. We're seeing Nocturne already coming around, having a little peek towards it. The Rayman pushing on towards Kevin now. Actually, he's like, is he there? I'm not too sure. The Drayan is going to have a look. The Drayan was very aggressive on Lee Sin earlier on, just not quite working out. You can see that actually the Rayman is pushed quite a far out Rain here. He will manage to get caught out. Does actually dash towards him.
Nice.
Flashes as well. Very good use of his abilities. Oh, and he's going to get stunned on the tower. Will be surely a first blood for Kevin there. Picking him down. A very good use of flash and a stun. And well, very nicely played from SK. Good start for top lane.
What were you saying? That Drayan is aggressive?
Yeah.
I don't see it. That was really, really well played. I was going to say, wow, that was great play from Rayman. He's going to be totally safe. The dash into an instant flash, but they were like, you know what? We have flashes too, and we can still kill you. That is going to at least put a little bit of stress on TSM's nerves right now. Rainman, sometimes rumored to be the weak link and TSM setup. I'm not quite sure if that's true or not, but he's definitely feeling the heat right now. In mid lane, we still see both of them farming rather neutrally. 23 CS for Galio versus 27 for Cassiopeia. It doesn't really mean anything. Cassiopeia has been back in board, so has Galio. He's building toward the Chalice as a first item. And the Drayan is back in top lane, waiting for Irelia to push out. Let's see if Rainman is going to actually do him that favor. Kevin is playing really, really smartly here by attacking a lot. He's not even making Rainman think that there may be a jungler sitting around the corner. So that is really nice meta mind gaming there.
It might be nice, but I think the Drayan's realising he's kind of caught up a little bit too long, so he's had to back away from that one. Let's have a look back down the bottom. You can see the smoke cloud coming out from KX, trying to force them back, and they have pinged on. They're going to go actually towards the middle lane. Reginald pushed quite far up. The Drayan is going to come across. Will he be able to burn a flash? He's trying his best to make him force that flash out. He's going to try and dive the turret. Will get caught out and poked, but it's not going to be enough. And Reginald didn't use that flash either, just ballsily held back, walked back and strolled back like a boss. Let's have a look, and you can see Nocturne still really trying to wants to force that push, but Reginald's not having any of it. He's just going to sit there, eat that health potion and continue pushing.
And that is exactly what he needs to do at the moment. 50 to 48 at bot lane, super even. 35 to 35 in mid lane, super even. 48 to 32 though in top lane. Udyr actually winning that lane against Irelia. And of course, a lot of that is down to the gank, but still, it's that's the lane that is currently failing for a TSM. So the question is their jungler going to babysit that lane, or are they just going to rely on Rainman being able to come back from this himself?
Well, I'm not too sure, because Rainman's struggling a little bit up here. I'm not too sure how much Shen is going to be able to help out just at the moment. He wants to continue farming his path. You can see that actually Reginald managed to come in, spotted that Galio was going back, and immediately stole away those wraiths. Going across towards cover up, pick up that blue. Nocturne is going to be well aware of it. You can see the clairvoyance goes down. Galio a little bit far away from that though, so I don't think he's going to be able to do too much about it. Kevin though has took a bit of beating there from the Rayman. Obviously life stealing it back. You can see Nocturne trying to get in position. He has been caught, spotted by that ward. It's clairvoyant, sorry, and he's just going to have to back away. You can see, yeah, they're keeping that slow poison away from him. Reginald's like, really, we're not going to let you in. He stole it! He stole it! Drayan managed to put the Z across and the Q straight across, so managed to get the steal in. Ocelot actually flashed ulti in on towards Reginald. I think that might be a little bit too aggressive. Has got the ignite ticking down on Reginald. Will not be able to finish him off. You can see a cheeky Q from Drayan there, but what a great steal.
He forced a flash out of Reggie after stealing his blue. So Reggie is now behind in two ways in mid lane, and this is going Ocelot's way absolutely. And you know what? It almost looks like the Galio's work, but of course it's the teamwork as well, the steal and everything. The flash ultimate was aggressive, but you have to think ultimates don't have the same kind of cooldown that a flash have.
Yeah, very quick as well. And meanwhile, while that was happening as well, Kevin had come down the bottom as well. Sorry, to that blue, and maybe to try and push the issue. We're still seeing the timer up, which means they haven't even cleared out the small golems that were there. Sorry, the small lizards. Candy Panda, meanwhile, is pushing down the bottom. We can see that KX had been back to bite. Double Dorans and a Berserker Greed for Candy Panda. Meanwhile, a BF sword, direct BF sword for KX. So
wow.
He's going to be a little bit squishy early on, but he will get that Infinity Edge completed quicker, or the Bloodthirster, whichever one he's going to go towards. You can see that TSM were like, well, you know what, we want to steal yours now, but it's not going to happen.
Too late.
Ocelot already got it, and he's off with that blue.
And you just mentioned this, the little icon is still there. There's indeed one lizard is still alive, and I'm not sure if TSM are even aware of this. If they leave this up for a couple more minutes, they're really, really hurting themselves, because Cassiopeia wants to have blue buff so that she can be super spammy in sieges and team fights, whatever, and don't think that anyone is paying attention to this. And the same thing that you just said, yeah, they came into the SK's forest to try and steal their blue, but it was too late as well. So the coordination much, much stronger from SK at the moment.
Yeah, now we're seeing an invade from Ocelot. You can see Chaos already taken low there. Cogmore just getting a little catch on him. Ocelot trying his best to come across and steal away that blue. They realise it is being taken away. The red buff, and that will be the odd one picking it up. So a real clever little bit of play from SK here. They're really well aware of the timers on everything, you know, the opposition, etc. They're really keeping count of everything and really getting into positions to actually deal with it. I'm wondering if they're going to switch for Dragon here, or maybe an early Dragon. Is it just going to be a simple ward? They have got quite a push on the opposition, and Ocelot again going across the red there, and Reginald realising it, obviously passing straight on that ward, but he's going to have to just back away, because Reginald, I don't think, can fight Ocelot at the moment.
And with the amount of coordination that SK are showing, if I was them, I would be setting up for Dragon very, very quickly. I mean, they do have a Shen ultimate, so Shen doesn't even need to be there, and it can still be a 4v4. But currently, as soon as Ocelot's ulti is back, and it is back, they should definitely be looking for a fight there, Dragon. Even if they don't pick up Dragon, their team fighting looks so much stronger at the moment. And in top lane, Kevin is still bullying Irelia around there. He is at 81 to 63 CS, and that's something I hear from top laners a lot, is if you start losing top lane, it's so hard to stop losing it. Top lane is its own island. I mean, yes, there can be ganks, but if you play it safe enough, you can avoid those. And once you fall a little bit behind, if the other person knows what they do, they can really push that advantage really mercilessly. Ocelot and Dedrayon are warding the enemy jungle right now. They're invading again. Of course, blue is not up yet. They have cleared blue, so they did notice that, but they may have still lost 1 or 2 minutes on the spawn there. And it looks like they're coming in from behind for gank on Rainman. Oh man, that hurts. Rainman already so far behind, and now going to get a 3-man gank on him. Shen may be able to ulti him, but I doubt it's going to be enough. And there they go in. The turret is now on Kevin. Shen immediately ulting it. Raymond going super low, has to flash, and is still going to go down. And the Dedrayon is also picked up by the tower. Kevin may also fall to the tower. Actually, no, he barely survives with a shield. It's a 1-for-1 exchange, so well done by TSM. They didn't quite lose out there. I think it was still a neutral exchange, but it's not good for Rainman's nerves at this point.
No, it's not good at all, and it was a neutral exchange, like you say. Kevin actually getting baited in there. They're diving onto him. Kevin using himself as bait, and the odd one having to burn his flash up as well there. So good bit of play from SK for using those flash to summon their abilities. You can see Reginald also taking away then Wraiths once again. But you know what? Ocelot has really been in the right place at the right time, as has the Drain. A little unfortunately, he went down early. I think he got just knocked out slightly from the tower damage that Kevin was taking, and which immediately meant the Drain managed to take around 3 or 4 big hits in the face from that tower.
Yeah. The only problem with Ocelot being in the right place, as you say, is that he is falling a little bit behind in CS, but you know, I wouldn't worry about that too much at the moment. He's about 10 CS behind.
He's ahead.
Sorry, oh god, I saw Cassiopeia and I was like, that must be Ocelot. That's, he baited me. He's even ahead, yeah, very good. Yeah. So even though he's roaming this much, he's still ahead. Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to say there.
I hate to point things out, but that one was pretty clear.
Call me out, call me out. I literally looked at the Cassiopeia icon and was like, oh, that's Ocelot.
Here we go. Here we go. This is going to be a dragon pull. And the question is, can TSM now contest it? They are in a reasonable position, and of course Aurelia is down here, so you can see the Rayman coming down. There's a good ward placement from TSM and SK, so they're going to try and pull this one. You see Clairvoyance has been used already there, so TSM well aware of what's happening, throwing the slow poison down, trying to keep them at bay, and it's actually TSM that have pulled it out at the moment, and Cogmore's a little bit slow getting here, maybe a little bit too late, but they're going to actually go for it. Instead, you can see that the Drain is trying to slowly bide his time. They have pulled it out, and Cogmore's got himself in an interesting position here, because Rayman's managed to dive onto him. Can it be enough? Nifty actually taking a big chunk of damage there, but Candy Panda still in a good position. They've managed to split them apart, so they've managed to force Cassiopeia to the left-hand side side here, which is the main danger position. So now SK forced the way in. Dragon has reset. They've managed to catch on towards Reginald. Will it be enough? They're going to get Nocturne diving in. Managed to use his ulti on Kevin just about the right time. I think he's going to get away from that one, but that's going to mean Reginald has to go back. He has to go back to town, which means SK are going to pull this run out. Nif brilliantly pulling it out there, and SK will pick this Dragon up, but TSM are not falling for it. They are going to come back. They see the Nif is low. Can they manage to get in and steal? They can see they're hanging around, but no, SK did pick up that Dragon. They're going to back away from this one. Very nicely played by SK there.
And you called it absolutely right there, Demon. The split was what broke TSM's back here, because going into this I was like, Reggie has his ulti, also doesn't have his ulti. I'm not sure if I want to do this, but that split just sealed the deal. For everybody watching at home, whenever you can, go into a fight together. It may look cool to do a pincer move and come in from two sides. It never ever works. The team that split almost always loses.
Yeah, they always do. So Candy Panda farming away down the bottom. And I'm interested to see how this is going to work for Chaos. Obviously, he went straight for that BF sword. Is he going to jump straight towards a Bloodthirster or Infinity Edge, or is he going to go Berserker Greaves? What's he thinking of here? He's sat waiting for his gold to tick up by the looks of it. He's got 2,000, so yes, he's going to go towards an Infinity Edge straight away. Berserker Greaves and getting that little bit of lifesteal in there, but he is missing that Doran's Blades, so he's going to be lower on the hit point mark. Meanwhile, Reginald, he's been trying his best. He wants to get that Will of the Ancients because he's got to go double Dorans. Meanwhile, Galio, he's going to be sitting on a lot of gold at the moment because I feel it. Let me just have a quick look across. Yeah, 2,200 gold sitting on at the moment, so he could really just go and buy what the hell he likes. Not too sure which way he'd go early on from Galio. Just seeing a pincer move coming on here, actually, on towards that top. This is the time that a pincer move does work, when your jungler is coming in behind you, and a Kevin is looking with Nif, of course. Don't forget, they have a lot of control on him, and Rayman realizes he's like, not again. They're going to dive straight in, and he will get caught out by that Howling Gale. Very, very well executed by SK, and they are really picking on the Rayman here.
And Shen used his ultimate. It is on cooldown. He didn't manage to teleport because unfortunately his target died first. Blue buff is up again, but I don't see Reggie putting that up. Ocelot is there right now. He's not going to pick it up. It just reset, and that means blue buff is going to go to Team SK as well, and it's looking very, very bad for TSM here, who might be dropping out of the tournament. I mean, in the group stage, no one saw this. There is the blue buff on Ocelot. Let me just say one thing very quickly about the Grace build there. Otto is going to be safe, okay? About the Grace build, going for that early BF sword means I want damage now. I want to win the dragon fight. He didn't, and he was behind on the build. He's behind in the lane right now, and Kog'Maw can just have his way with him. He has Lantern and 2 Dorans, so he is going to trade better. I mean, unless he is alone, of course. But still, it just means Candy Panda has a very easy time in lane right now. And Reggie is just, you know, he's just snowballing downhill, if I can say that. Losing a blue buff, not very good there. He had his flash forced out of him early. He didn't have a good impact on the dragon fight, and it just feels like he's not up to his best game right now, Demon.
But it's just been the team control. I mean, SK knew exactly when that blue buff was coming, and they got in their faces and caused the fight. They did that 3-man dive at the top, which is really, they've hampered the Rayman. Rayman is not useful in a fight at the moment. He's been so far behind Udyr, and we're actually getting to the scary levels. And do you think this is a case of they watched CLG yesterday and thought, you know what, that big scary Udyr at the top can be a very dangerous thing if we get him to free farm. And now, you know, look, we immediately saw it there. Like, Kevin came along to the lane, Aurelia's just like, yeah, I'm off. I'm not sticking around here. I don't want this fight whatsoever. Ocelot, meanwhile, is completely free farming in the middle. SK are just in such a strong mode. You know, it's almost like that Moscow 5 match didn't happen. They've just cleared it from their mind, regrouped, and it seems to be working very well for them.
They do seem to know how to play against TSM much better than they know how to play against Moscow 5, especially at offline events there. Ocelot has absolutely won his lane at this point. He could just simply build only magic resist, and he is going to be fine. So we're watching Kevin dueling here with Rayman, who only feels safe because there's a tower around, and there's not much that Reginald can do for him right now. And they're coming in for, it looks like they're coming in for Reginald. It could be a dive. Kevin is still there. Reginald is not aware of it, and he is coming in. There comes the ultimate. The stun is on as well. Reginald used his flash already, used his ultimate to no effect whatsoever. Kevin is on a rampage. That is not good for TSM. Odd One jumps in, but, you know, Kevin is so tanky. At the same time, Raymond is on the dry on, but it's not going to do anything. 4-1 the kill score and a 3.5k gold advantage in favor of Team SK Gaming.
Yeah, and all 4 of those kills have come from that combo of Udyr and Dedrean. So Kevin and Dedrean doing a fantastic job so far. Every single assist as well. And obviously that only one death was down to that tower. So really the combo has been working very well. Pushing on towards Chaos. They're trying to catch him out with that Howling Gale. Having to just dash away from it. And Candy Panda has managed to push that bottom lane, which means very much trouble for them. If Cogmore has beaten you in lane, you know you are in a bad, bad place.
Yep, that's the one place where you could possibly hope to shut Cogmore down, but not happening this time. Freely taking the double golds as well. We're watching Odd One just doing his raves right now. Not quite sure what's going through TSM's mind. They can still win this. Let's not give this game away yet. I mean, one good team fight can turn this around. They are rather bursty with both Grace and Cassiopeia there, but right now everything is going exactly SK's way, and you know, in retrospect, it looks like they absolutely knew what they were doing with the Cassiopeia bait. That just worked out exactly like SK planted. And it's more, of course, you keep saying this, and you're absolutely right. It's more than just a single pick. It's also how you play with your entire team. Yeah, and SK just got that down.
They've just executed it perfectly every single time. They've bullied Aurelia, basically. Aurelia has been absolutely massacred in this so far. As 0-3-1, Rayman is not having a fun time. I'm intrigued to see what the interview will be like afterwards, because he is not enjoying his time at the moment. And it's not down to him. You know, we can't just say, oh, you know, the Rayman's struggling. He's just been absolutely picked on by, you know, that combo, the jungler and Nocturne. He's just jungler and Nocturne, Udyr and Nocturne have been sitting on him in lane the whole time. And you know what? Everybody's had a game like that where someone just sits on you. Meanwhile, Udyr is quite happily just taking away this dragon. He will pull it out himself, and SK is going to get a very free dragon there. You can see the clairvoyance goes down. It's like, yeah, we cannot contest this thing.
Nif said it before the game, one sentence to describe the difference between SK at Kiev and SK now, and he said, we know what we're doing now. And it definitely looks that way, at least in this game it does.
Yeah, at least in this game, and they are going to try and steal away the red. And you know, once they're in that jungle, Kevin has actually dived in for this one. Don't forget that Nocturne ulti is not quite available, which is why I don't think they're going to go for this one. They will try and push through. Howling Gale going through there. And Ocelot was like, you know what, I can actually plant on these. I'm quite happy to do that. They've had to back away. TSM realised they're in a dangerous situation, because that would have definitely been all over. However, it is only 4-1 at the moment. This is very much easy to come back from. It's only 5k. We've seen bigger games thrown than this at this tournament. So it is a high-profile position. TSM, though, have so much pressure on them right now, because if they lose this game, they will be out of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Absolutely. The World Championship as well, the big one, the one that really, really counts for everything. Kevin is pulling blue. TSM aren't even contesting their own blue at this point anymore. They're really just waiting for SK to make one big mistake that they could possibly capitalize on. And it's just not happening. It looks like SK are really playing cohesively and just coordinating so very, very well right now. I'm really liking this play. And Galio just picking up two null magic mantles for himself. It's just like, yeah, you know what, I just want a little bit. Oh, that was that was actually a misclick. Yeah. He sold one of them for an armor. Well, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's not so bad.
Meanwhile, the Infinity Edge has been completed by Graves, has got that Doran's Blade as well now to try and get him a little bit more healthy. And Willie the Ancient's still not completed by Reginald Day. He's just been back, only got an Amplifying Tome. Just struggling so desperately for cash, and it's a horrible, horrible position to be in for Cassiopeia, because once you do get the Willie the Ancient, once you start getting that ability power, it's so fun to play, but he's not in a happy place right now. He's kind of been targeted as well, and now his tower's in all sorts of trouble. I'm not too sure if they can actually even contest this one. Chaos has come in though, he's got an Infinity Edge. That will hurt right now. So that is their only thing they've got in defense. But you can see Phantom Dancer with that Wriggle's Lantern has been completed by Cogmore. So Cogmore's going to be rapid firing right now. And there's not a lot they can do about it. If he gets near them towers, he will just burn through them.
And I wonder how Udyr and, actually Raymond jumping in on Ocelot, that was a little scary. Ocelot had his ultimate available to him there, but probably didn't want to burn it on just one person. I wonder how Udyr and Nocturne do all this damage, because between them they have 2 lanterns and 2 phages for damage, and that's really it. But they're unkillable, and you know, something that people often forget is that defensive stats multiply with offensive stats, because the longer you can stay in combat, the more damage you can do overall. So that's working out really, really nicely for them as well there. And we can see here in bot lane right now, Candy Panda was laying a little ambush for the Odd One. He's going to chase him down a little bit. It's just bullying Odd One around. It's like, you're not farming this bot lane, this is my bot lane.
And that's a scary thing. If Cogman was now that fed that Shen's like, I cannot stand and look at you, he will eat my head off. And, you know, he just, that's the ability. He actually popped a Fortitude Potion, I think, the minute he was ready for that fight. So you can see that Cogman now working his way up towards the middle here. This middle tower will go down. That will be the final outer tower going down. So SK will be 3-0 up in turrets. Now they have taken the vision away from Team SoloMid. They will not see what they're doing. Now they've got one singular ward in that river bridge, which is not going to help too much. Ocelot really wants to get on there. You can see that. He's just baiting. He's like, I can flash ulti, guys. I can flash it. I can do this. I can do this. But the rest of the team are like, no, really. Let's just play it gently. And they are going to go across. It looks like they're going to push towards this inner turret. This could be the first inner turret of the game. And don't forget, Shen is still down the bottom. He can ulti across at any time. But you know what? I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to protect this turret. The SK have a very strong position here, and they will rip that turret down very quickly. Look at that. The Cogmore whistling off from that Chinese code. I'm just seeing who has actually dived up there. It was the Rayman diving up towards the Dre, and will it be the kill? Actually using his ulti to completely throw me out there, going down towards Reginald. Meanwhile, it's not working out too badly. Rayman will go down. The rest of TSM weren't quite on his wavelength there, though, and they have backed away from it. The Odd One having to dash through. The Odd One will try and save it. Oh, there's a plant from Ocelot. Oh, wow, look at the damage immediately on Reginald. Reginald will go down to the ignite. Kevin's going to get the stun on the Odd One. The Odd One now being picked off that stun, and there Candy Panda getting the slowdown and just rips it through. And that is 6-0 Udyr. That is a very scary bear mount pig.
Wow, and Kevin, after getting the kill on Shen, he was still running. He was still trying to kill John. His team was like, dude, enough, right, enough. He's like, I want to kill her. That is, like you said, a scary man bear pig. Wow, you don't want to cross him in the middle of the night. And TSM, to me, right now, they look broken. I mean, there was a very nice attempt with Irelia. They're going in, getting the Shen on top of that. They did get the kill on the Dryon, who did a very nice move there and went across to Reginald. But they still baited them into staying around, trying to protect Oddball maybe, and then the flash ultimate from Galio, and all downhill from there. And that is going to be...
not sure they should go for this.
No. Everybody's back on TSM. Yeah, they took a little bit too long. But they did get an inhib out of it, and that is very, very nice for them. And it's the top inhib, which means top lane is always going to be pushed, which means all future Baron attempts are automatically going to have visibility denied to TSM on top lane.
And so Special comes out, clears out that ward, and I think it was a right call for SK to back away from that one, because they still know, you know, if they were to lose a big Baron fight, you know, just happened to get caught out, they were all fairly low on mana there. If they got caught out, then actually it could give the game back to TSM. We saw it with Fnatic's Dignitas just the other day.
That was probably one of the most epic games ever. If you've not seen that, watch Fnatic versus Dignitas from Group A. That was a game that made me fall out of my seat repeatedly.
As a big Fnatic fanboy, I'm sure.
Well, it was a good game, no matter if you're a fanboy or not. It was definitely a very, very enjoyable game there.
So Dragon is going to be pulled out, and you can see they have complete control. And that's going to take it to a full 10k gold advantage, and 5 kill advantage, 5 tower advantage, everything going the way of SK. Can they push it on? Will Team SoloMid be going out on their very first group stage day? I had them going through, like you said, they were favourites today, but you know what? It's just not looked right for them today. Something has not clicked. I don't know what. They've been solo queuing it up maybe too much. Maybe they've just been burning the candle at both ends. They've been hitting EUS. They've been playing as many tournaments as they physically could possibly do.
Yeah.
But the results actually haven't been going their way.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, they have very good explanations for why they lost the tournaments. It was like, yeah, Reggie hadn't slept for 30 hours before we went to the tournament. And the question is, why had Reggie not slept? Because, yeah, it's not just that you lose that little tournament, which may not mean that much to you, but you just lost 8 games worth of practice. Even though some of them may have been stomps, you still need all the practice you can get there, I think. And now SK are setting up for Baron. They have full vision of the area. They have vision control for TSM. TSM are not even going to try to stop that one. Demon, I'm going to use up my dire quota for the day. It's looking dire for TSM.
It is looking very dire. It is not looking good. Here we go. Baroned up SK. They're just going to pile up the middle there. That inner turret will not last very long. Actually, saying that, they're going to go to the left-hand side with the open inhibitor, I think. And yeah, the pings go down. And Chaos, you are in a dangerous position right now. And I think he's realized it. He's already backing away. Candy Panda just poised and ready. Can they get the slow across? They could have got down towards Reginald there. Yeah, that Galio tries to zip it across there. I think Galio or Adia will happily tank up this turn. In fact, Kevin wanted to tank it. The rest of his team were like, no, we're going to go the other way. He's like, really? Okay, great. I'm just going to run past it, clear out the lane, and then just going to push that lane down. Pings go down. Actually, they're trying to catch out. Wow, just look at that. Rainman, just one little quick burst there, and immediately a big chunk of damage down on him. They are going to push straight on. And they're waiting for these minions to get in there. Someone's just like, we really should tank this, you know.
Ocelot waiting in the wings there. He's coming from the side. He's been waiting there the entire time. He wants them to engage so he can flash ulti in from the side. Not happening. Great move though from Ocelot, waiting in the middle of the enemy's jungle where they knew there was no vision because Janna had just swiped the place with her Oracle's elixir. Now they're going in for the inhib turret, the second inhib turret, and it doesn't look like TSM have any answers. Rainman jumping on Kevin. Kevin is so very, very tanky with that Janna shield on top of the bulwark from Galio. You're just not going to go down through him. And his own shield, of course, as well. TSM now fighting literally for their survival in this tournament. No one thought that it would be possible for TSM to be taken out in the group stage. And SK show that they have learned a lot since Kiev. They completely turned tables here on TSM. And Odd One is going all the way in. Now that's the Guardian ultimate coming in. So much damage even on the tanky Shen. He's fallen down to about a quarter health. He's going to go down. Yes, down right now. Kevin is in the middle of everything. He's stunned. Rainman. Candy Panda happily picks that up. Reginald falling so very, very quickly. I feel that Soraka is going to be next. There's the start on her. She just blows up slow on Chaos. He is not going anywhere. Kevin just tanking the turret all day long. Turret is his best friend. And you know what, Demon? I'm just going to call it right here.
Oh, wow. That's very brave of you. But yeah, SK absolutely dominating there. 12-2 in kills. Pretty much pushed it the whole way, all from that big fight at the top there. They have completely engaged, and well, you've got to give it to Kevin and Dedre, and they have played fantastically well through that. So Team SoloMid look like they could well be out of the tournament here. We don't know what the curse result, of course, is. IEM could have caused an upset and maybe beat them for a split for third place, but SK Gaming will be second place. That means they're going to be facing against all authority in the quarterfinals, which is immediately is a big, big game.
Yeah.
But CLG, will they be facing Curse?
Oh wow, that would be very, very interesting. North American duel versus a European duel, and there you can see SK. They are quite happy with their performance. Their new jungle in the middle of the mall, Dedre doing a very good job. So it's SK and Nif, Dedre and Candy Panda now in the foreground. They are quite happy to have made it through here. Yes, you can see they are actually rather excited. And unfortunately, we still don't know the results.
Well, I'm looking across, and I think actually they might still be playing. Yes, I can see Admin still stood behind him, so I think they might well still be playing. So we're going to get that result shortly, but obviously we're going to grab an interview with these players shortly. We're just waiting for them to settle down. The adrenaline will be pumping between them.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hard to actually drag from a TSM because they will not be happy with that result, and they're going to be watching with concerned faces that TSM game. How is it going to work out? You know what? I think they're out. They're out.
No, I think TSM are definitely out. They're definitely out. They're definitely out. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Even if IEM beats Curse, it's like they're definitely TSM are definitely out of this tournament. They have just dropped out of the Intel Extreme Masters in their group stage. No one saw this coming.
No.
And this is why we go to these offline events, put everybody on exactly equal footing, put everybody in the same conditions, and then see who is actually the best team. And we have an interview ready right now. It's not going to be the happiest interview of TSM's lives.
It will be for SK.
It probably will be. Let's see what questions Rivington has for these two teams right now.
What's up, guys? Here we are, main stage, Team SoloMid and SK. Congratulations, SK, for taking the win on that one. We have Rainman and Ocelot here for all the fans out there. I gotta ask a quick question. Why all the focus top? Why did you pick on Rainman so much?
Because we knew that Aurelia is a hero that is so powerful, but if you take it down by Kanks, it might be like the other way around, you know?
Right, right.
So you might even lose you the game by dying so many times. It's nothing to do with Rayman. It's all about Aurelia gets. If you can't hit all the time, she's gonna lose the lane so fucking hard. It's hard.
Rainman, such a tough lane to have that happen over and over again. What advice do you have for people? That makes the lane so tough. There's really nothing you can do about it. Even warding, they're coming around all the way through blue side. What do you tell people in that situation? How do how do you cope with that, and how do you come back from it?
Well, from the level 4 gank, when I died to that, it pretty much sealed my fate. Yeah, after that, they could pretty much do what they wanted. Udyr got strong, and even though we killed them when they dove the first time, like, it still got out of control. So,
were you expecting that first gank to go as it did? You dashed beautifully, you got out, and then they both expended flash. So come on, you weren't expecting that.
No, I wasn't expecting that.
So coming out here, did you guys have that composition in mind, or were you going off the composition that came out through picks and bans?
We had a composition in mind because we were training with Galio lately, and we wanted to save him for a pretty important game. So that's what we did, and it went properly.
Well, what was the point and the factor that you guys came into this match where you thought you were going to find a hole in SK's defense?
Basically, our goal was to not get ganked early and make Shen useful late game, and we didn't get to late game, so yeah.
Right on. Well, congratulations to you guys, SK, pulling that win out. We're going to be throwing it to a Lin and I believe D-Man to close out the day here and give a little bit of recap on what happens here at League of Legends at the IEM Championship.
And there you have it, Day 2, Group B of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Now, Demon, can you give us a recap of the tournament so far?
Yeah, and what a fantastic tournament it has been, and we're going to have some lovely graphics on the screen in a second, but my God, there has been some absolutely astounding games. I really don't know where to start. I mean, Group A has been magical. Group B has just thrown a huge shock in the works there with TSM going out at the very last game. And they're the really, tournaments are the best things in the world because big shocks happen.
And what can we expect tomorrow for the quarterfinals?
Well, tomorrow, obviously, we're going to have the quarterfinals tomorrow coming up. So from Group A, we had CLG qualifying through, and I believe they're still playing, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter on the result right now because Curse Gaming will be against them. So it's an all-American theme for tomorrow. And then it's another all-European theme as well with SK Gaming coming against All Authority. So some massive, massive matches. We're going to get to see, and you can see on the screen, that is the group stage from Group A. Dignitas topping out that group. It's really a brilliant performance from them. CLG coming in second place against All Authority. The Dignitas Fnatic game was probably the highlight of that day. It was such a superb match. CLG Dignitas was a fantastic match. You can see they both had 1 losses. So it just shows how close this tournament really is. Fnatic going out, Season 1 DreamHack champions going out on the first day.
Great. Now, we will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. CT, and StarCraft will also be back on at 9 a.m. as for Counter-Strike at 12:15 p.m. And also, StarCraft and Counter-Strike is still streaming, so make sure that you guys check out those streams as well. And ESL TV's brand new website, beta.esl.tv, so check that out for more content. And again, the quarterfinals is tomorrow. We're definitely excited for that, so we will see you until then.
Yeah, and Another, obviously, we've got the Group B that will happen today. I mean, there was some fantastic matches in League of Legends. The big shop you've just seen on the screen, if you've just happened it, we're going to have the table come up, but it was just amazing from the very first game of the day, which was, I'm going to have to cast my mind up today. We've had so many great good games. It was Team SoloMid versus Curse Gaming. Oh, I tell you what, it's been a busy day.
What was your favorite match of the day?
My favorite match of the day, I think it probably was that first game. But my favorite moment of the day would have been Moscow 5 versus TSM. They dived onto Genja on the bottom tower. He managed to just hang on and survive. He had all sorts of support. Suddenly his team came and helped him out, and they managed to turn out from a dive from TSM onto them, and they pulled off a triple kill from absolutely nothing. We're going to have the Group B table coming up here for you guys, and you can see Moscow 5 topping it 5-0. Absolutely dominant, continuing their awesome form from the Intel Extreme Masters in Kiev just a few months ago. SK Gaming coming through second place. They're going to be delighted with that. You saw the big smiles on their faces for that one. And Curse Gaming coming through for taking third place. They're going to be facing CLG tomorrow, and they've come through with a support player, a top lane player that they hadn't even met before today. He immediately said to him, I don't speak that good English, which instantly caused a problem. So Sidco will be turning up for them tomorrow as well. And, you know, I'm absolutely astounded. So here we go. We're going to go to the player graphic. And or not, talk about the event. So, I mean, for me, the highlights, like I said, it was that Genja moment. We had some fantastic matches with the playoffs, and here we go. It just shows you how good the matches are. CLG versus Curse, it's an all North American quarterfinal straight away, the first time of the day. They're going to go through, and whoever will face that will face the Goliath of Moscow 5, who've just been untouchable throughout this. SK Gaming will versus Against All Authority will be the first match of the day. I believe myself and Joe might be covering that one, I'm not too sure, but regardless, it is the all-European duo. And you know what? Against All Authorities have been pretty devastating throughout, and they're going to get through to face Dignitas. So even Dignitas and Moscow 5, despite the fact they're through to the semi-finals, immediately have a very tough job.
Right, definitely. So we're definitely excited for the quarterfinals tomorrow, and it's only going to be better and bigger and better. So until then, we will see you guys tomorrow at the quarterfinals at 9 a.m. Goodbye, you guys.
And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
He flashes in and casts the ultimate. You want any help? Oh, no, she will flash. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those years to be an amazing defense champion of the